Hello there everyone, this is Amok3 and welcome back to Surviving the Abyss. Yes, well we're back in the calm, loving embrace of the depths of the ocean and nothing is wrong at all forever and ever. Especially with our good friend Billy, keeping a watch over all of us to ensure our safety. That is how this works, isn't it? It's here to help us, yes? Well, it's a clone of some kind, just like the rest of the crew is. So surely there's some kinship there, some familial bond we can try to exercise to get it to leave us the hell alone. No, no, oh no. It never works that way, does it? Ooh, I am your father. Ah, no. Anyway, welcome back. Happy New Year as well, by the way. Apologies, it wasn't planned, but this one wound up taking a few weeks of hiatus over the Christmas and New Year seasonal times. But we are back now. We're back in the depths of the ocean, as I just said, and I have been doing something I was kind of putting off a little bit, which is I've redone my genome mapping again, and I've made a realization about it, which kind of explains how it behaves. Like sometimes we have mutation chance reductions slamming in, it would do tons of things. Sometimes we slam it in, it would do absolutely nothing. Yeah, why was that? Well, I actually worked that out while reconfiguring my genomes. It's well, it's a bit of a chore going through them because I've got 50 odd fauna traps and I need to go through and check and see what's doing what through most of those. But anyway, I've got a scientist and engineer genomes both set up. They are producing longevity clones, like perfect beings that will live as long as the base does, which may or may not be all that long, I do not know. But if we go in, these aren't perfect clones. The scientist genome has a chance of gluttony, like 8%, and a chance of instability, which will cause them to fail, which also means that clones that get instability will just die out, but, you know. Such is the nature of cloning in this world. If we move to the engineering section, we are a lot less safe. We are actually making high-risk clones here. We've mixed in some generalists in the form of opioid crab to get the last bit of longevity. So we're going to go with the vision that was kind of what I've been fostering, because I like to picture this as how it goes in these labs where our prying eyes can't see. It's like, it's a clone, it's a human. You take a fish, you duct tape some octopus tentacles to it, you staple on some crab legs, and it's like, hey, that's a human being, there you go. It just amuses me so much thinking of like the mad scientist approach there. I'm pretty sure that it's not as interesting as that. It's probably more along the lines of Genesis Alpha 1, like a goo situation, and then taking the raw genetic stuff and forming it into the required shapes and all that stuff. But in this case, I've mixed in some opioid crab just for the last bit of longevity, as I said, and all in all, this one has got a 30% risk of gluttonous, which is the one I wanted, because it's like, well, actually it's the one that I want over sickly, because sickly is risk of, risk of getting ill. I could have gone for an aggressive, but that can be cured with the brig. Unstable sorts itself out. So I guess of the two more permanent ones, gluttonous is the one that's more readily manageable, and it will not remove the person from working. So it's like, keep them at work. Last week's sequence to put together isn't quite a long-lived clone, but it's going to have to do. And this is also where I was starting to get to my understanding of the how the mutation manages work. So, we need our pioneers. We are going to get our 3 pioneer sequences. The giant squid, meshed with toxic remains scooped up from the ocean floor, which I'm sure are absolutely fine. By the way, of course, the scientist's genome, that has the sample X worked in, because You can't make a scientist without a bit of sample X. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Anyway, going to do that. We're going to go with the longevity from the tripod. We are trying to get our lifespan up as best we can, but we're not going to make it all the way to proper longevity. Not longevity, sorry, that's the pronunciation. But this is where things start to matter. The symbols for each mutation chance. I was under the impression before, or if I discovered this previously, it's like I forgot, but mutation minuses also have symbols. If it has the symbol of a certain mutation type, the reduction only kicks in if your genome map at that point where you insert it has that particular mutation type. It'll affect all of them, but it will only kick in if you've got that one. And if you extinguish that one, any furthers with the same mutation reduction type, like if I was mixing things that reduced just aggressive, and aggressive was gone but the other two were still left, it would no longer have any effect, and so I wouldn't be losing the other two. I'd just be adding the other normal effects of the sample. So that's how that works. With the exception of the three I've got available here, the crown jellyfish and the atoll jellyfish. These have the red warning exclamation hazard mark, and that, as far as I understand it, applies to all mutation types, because it doesn't line up to any one of them. Instead, it lines up to the mutation warning symbol right there. So, like any mutation chance, those apply to. It's just a shame that jellyfish add no longevity, which is why this particular cloning set won't hit the requisite 100-day target. But yeah, mixing the pioneer jellyfish, massive reduction. Add in you. It's back up to high risk with some sickly and a bit of instability. But I've only got another 12 days available in my samples, and that's if I take out the jellyfish, which will cause other problems. Like if I did it that way, 86 days, dangerous, 38% chance of being sickly, 14% aggressive, 14% of unstable. This is a horrible clone. Also worth noting, by the way, in the genome types, the rarer types of genomes actually override earlier types. In one of the other sequences, I actually had some generalists mixed in just for the extra lifespan, and it was being overridden by the engineer traits. So yeah, that's a thing that happens. I don't want more random scientists coming out of you, so I'll take that one out. Put the jellyfish back into it. Solid, solid. 76 days, these clones will stick around for quite a while though, no matter what. So I'll take out the painted crown, I'll give it a Toller. I've never seen that before. Sub 1% chance of instability risk. It's got the chance, but it's below 1%. I didn't even know it did that. Anyway, some mutation risk. Genomes exceed slot limit. What? If the genomes exceed the slot limit, why am I allowed to insert those, and why did those work in the other sequences I've got running? I mean, I've got +2 slots right there. I do not understand. There's something going on here I do not understand. Though that said, by the way, I did come back into the save, and I found my cloning sequences are all broken again. Either Darkness did that, or I'm guessing I might have had some duplicate things floating around in my sequencing pool. I don't know. It's an odd thing, but basically every episode almost I'm having to redo my cloning system, and that's part of the reason why we went on a short hiatus, because I realised the cloning had broken again. Yeesh. Anyway, we are producing clones. We are making solid engineers. We're making solid scientists. We're making a decent mix of pioneers with a bit of engineer mixed in on the side, but they will have a finite lifespan. It's just a really long finite lifespan. Indeed. Now, comments-wise, I do not know what the comment was on this one. YouTube is refusing it to give it to me. I think there was one. Ah, here we go. Found it. Right. So that said, before, I just wanted to do a quick shout out as well to Dragon in the Diadem, who was inclined to drop in and say hello on the Discord. Yes, hello, welcome to this little corner of the interwebs. May your stay be long and fruitful, and may it not scare you away with all the tentacle things. Yes. Coelacanth, or, well, actually, Diadem gave me the pronunciation, coelacanth. And it's a rare fish type, which, when mapped, we found out is basically a living fossil. Like, it's a creature that's evolved so incredibly slowly, it's given us a snapshot into genetics and how the state of things were millions of years ago, or something like that. So it's just like, yeah. It's officially dubbed as the living fossil, which is quite interesting, actually. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. I'm not actually using the coelacanth in any of our sequencing, because, you know, it's a massive gemless thing, and I'm actually moving away from gemless for the most part. Though the minus 25% aggressive thing is interesting as well. It's also not exactly something I'm having to deal with at the moment, so I might bring this in later for the longevity and the mutation, but not for a bit. There are comments from last time which sound a bit confused, actually. Hang on, there we go. Pulling that up now. From what I can gather, you guys were not expecting reaching the limits of the lifespan bar to cause clones to have full lifespans. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, we exist because our bodies are above a certain point of stability, right? That's kind of how it goes. Okay, there's the scan from the volcanic outpost. Very good. I pulse that. The volcanic outpost is basically done now in its survey area. It just needs to connect up to the rest of the base and get power and stuff all sorted out, and also the cooling, because, well, actually, that's a question. Do the light poles require cooling? I do not know. We have to find that out. Let's put one over. There's a point of interest over there. There's a deposit there which we want. Multiple things. Problem is, we can't really get one quite out there, so I'm going to have to go, I think, like one here. Oh, hello. Let's tell you put one like there. You're going to need one to deal with the deposit and the oil field, so let's put one out here as well. Let's get our actual subs busy, because, you know, it's been a while, but let's get some submarine action going on. Oh, I've got one there, actually. That's interesting. That wasn't actually showing up in my overlay. Oh, it's this area that I've not done. Never mind. There we go. Active! Okay. By the way, interesting. I found another game which does the whole darkness and exploration thing in its own little manner. I think I'll do a video on it, but it's only like a limited access testing thing going on with it. So something new that's going to pop up for one video, maybe two, depends on how much they actually give us. Anyway, you are. Latest long-range scan revealed a unique biome. To further expand our facility, we should dispatch a team to establish a base there. Once preparations are complete, I just did a big batch of preparation by getting Pioneer cloning fully operational. So yes, there we go. Okay, comments. From Happy Hafer. Permanent clones? Nice! Finally, no more deaths from cloning. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that kind of, because crew death is a big bump in the my crew relations and stuff, especially whenever I reload the save, and it breaks the whole being like be fed, be housed for X amount of time thing, and I lose all those bonuses that were in effect. So yeah, it is a bit of an issue, especially with massive death rates going on. So yeah, I'm hopeful I can see the end of that, kind of. Now, continuing. I wonder just what samples the other team used to get that giant monster so large. I mean, all samples you use still get you human-sized clones. Giant squids and whales? Well, the thing is, we've mixed in whales in some of our cloning efforts. Actually, the routine normal gluttonous. That's okay. The routine warnings to my employees about certain corridors being blocked and they have to wait until we can crack the exterior shell to get the affected individuals out are totally not related to that at all. Not at all. I am sorry, I'm going to keep on playing into the mad science aspect because I absolutely love that kind of thing. So it's like, science. You know, there was actually once a film called Mad Science. Or something, yeah, very specific that. Am I out of steel? I am out of steel, great. Yeah, I think it was Mad Science, which was a kid. It was basically someone playing Frankenstein with a Barbie doll and accidentally bringing it to life. Odd little film, but then again, this was like the 90s or so, you know, all sorts of strange films around that time. Anyway, continuing. What did they do to make it so big? No idea. They might have mixed something else. They might have taken a very large dose from that toxic carcass I found, rather than a few samples, but the implication is the toxic carcass came from somewhere else. But that said, actually, I've not launched them. I should. We got POIs out here. A sunken oil rig damaged by some kind of explosion. Okay. The one we do want to do is the geological anomaly. A tech one, which has a generalist and a couple of guys. Let's send that. Let's do one of these out. Actually, how's my power grid doing? Grid A is 664 out of 622. I think we're fine to send off people from the power plants. That's what I like to see, lots of power. You will obey me! Right, come on. Pulling out the coal. Yep. Need some scientists. A lot of them seem to be actually running around as in gemlist roles in the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn off scientist cloning in the sooner rather than later, and then just clone up a massive legion of engineers. Oh god, I saw the thing about very recently YouTube just popped up randomly with an old video of like the invading legion of JoJo engineers or something like that. The Infernal Legion. It's like a legion of giant engies, and the poor heavy were just screaming helplessly. You know, odd things. Anyway, moving on. I want to get that one. I want to get. There's a sunken submarine, a sea mine, and another sea mine. I thought there was a missile ship. Oh, hello. Recently sunken submarine. That doesn't sound too promising, does it? Also, why is there someone in an alloy furnace? Mind you, these are all people with low lifespan as well. I should probably do that. I'll make sense one day. I swear this to my customers all the time. I will make sense one day. Maybe. Possibly. Kinda, sorta. But probably not. There we go. That's fine. Let's send you out as well. There we go. Both subs going. Okay. Because we also have comments from Clint, who seemed just as confused about the thing as that. In fact, Clint actually commented twice. Yeah. Okay, the first comment. So, is you get past 100 days they can't die? Great vids? So, can't die, question mark, great vid, question mark. It seemed very unsure there. But then folded up. So, no more death, that could be cool. Or end of the world. Yes, it could. Especially with the type of clones we're making. The men with the clap crawls are going to be coming out and just snapping at everyone. With the lobster whiskers and trailing octopus tentacles behind them, and it's like, it's Cthulhu shall be realized. Yes. Loss of game over from population. People with nothing to do. Yeah. Oh, and great vid, this time with exclamation marks. So yeah, I just found it amusing that you actually gave me two different comments there, Clint. But yeah, getting infinite cloning, yeah, that'd be a thing. The morale penalty means I have to watch that though. which is a bit unfortunate, but it's also part of the game balancing. But I think that's something this game could have done. Like, could have leaned into the whole military interest side of it. Like, hey, send us batches of clones up for testing. It's like, we suck all this money into starting this facility. Sure, you're building yourself, but we demand our investment be repaid. You must produce this kind of clone with this kind of integrity. It's like, you know, actually trying to get that going rather than just the secret lab just sitting away from everything, basically on monitor doing its own thing. Mind you, that said though, the other lab that seems to have been here before us probably did something similar to that, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Oof. Anyway, yeah, that's all. That's it for the comments. You're booting up. You are not damaged. Okay, good. It would have been horrible if the light post actually got damaged by the thing. Minus 30% to instability mutation. It's a rare habitat, though. And then this is an oil field. Okay. I need to get oil going this episode. I almost forgot about that. Okay. This one has revealed a chimera. No, that's not a chimera. A chimera. Is that how you pronounce that one? That's kind of odd. 25% pioneer potency, 12% life, 12-day lifespan, 5% mutation instability. That's actually a pretty good one. It's also it's another very rare, so that's going to be a bit tricky to get access to. Also, frilled shark, and also very rare. 38% potency for scientists and 25 days lifespan. That's a quarter of what's required. 25% mutation aggressive though, which again we can fix with a brig if we have to. Anyway, this was the recently sunken submarine. Okay, to the wreck, an armed military submarine resting ocean floor, showing no sign of our own flags or signals. Presence here raises many questions, but times luxury we don't have. Oh dear. Careful approach to investigate this alien vessel could unravel the circumstances of its demise. Got 60 research points. Our exploration team returned with more than just tales of data. They managed to recover submarine's data cores. Despite great damage to the texture salvage a wealth of research data. With this data, we can unlock improvements for our mining drones. What? You mean the drones I'm barely using anymore? Is that what you're saying? You said mining drones. I do not know where that is. Honestly, because it's not under the resources tree where you'd think it was, so it's like, it said unlock them, but I don't seem to have got anything for it. Oh well. That's the other submarine going out right there, into the inky blackness. Billy, this is not a chew toy, do not touch these guys please. I don't want to have to make another sub, please and thank you. Thank you. The flare's all the way over there. And over there. Huh. Okay. No thing, though. There it is. Okay.
Our crew have descended into the newly discovered trench. Initial reports are challenging our understanding of marine life at these depths. The walls of the trench are not barren rock, but are covered in a sprawling network of organic growth. These appear to be the extensions of the anomaly itself.
So, is the anomaly actually tunneling beneath the ocean floor as well? That's somewhat concerning. Unusual, some sort of organism appears to be growing from inside it. It's the Tyrannid, definitely. Our research teams wish to further examine the trench, propose building of an extractor to gather samples. Sure, let's poke it. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. An extractor. Unlock the trench extractor and build the trench extractor on the trench. Okay. Where's the trench extractor? Is that under exploration? Nope. That's part of the problem. It'd be nice if these things flashed when you got a new tech appearing for it. It'd help me find stuff. There it is, under genetics. Makes sense, they're digging on that thing. Only costs 90 to get it though, sure. I'll get that. Now what's this going to look like? Genetics. Why are there 6 placement points for this? Are we going to be digging into this, or are we going to be prying the whole thing open? That's my question upon seeing these guys. I mean, look at this thing. All I know is I need some lights over here, and some power. Actually, no, how much power do they take? 20. Yeah, I'm going to need some power as well. More power! Round of clones? No problems. Most excellent. Okay, I see. You can't place an oil well by itself. You actually need to get the oil drill to sample the site, then you actually snap the well on top of it. Like so. Okay, and then attach to an oil. Do I kind of just attach you to... Oh, that snaps onto this thing, actually. You know, that kind of sucks a little bit. It's cool. We've got a modular building here. It's using the same attachment system as the research labs did, and yet there's so few of these as far as I'm aware. You know? I kind of wish they did this with a lot more buildings. It would have been quite an interesting thing. It was like, how do you make your habitat domes? You get the habitat base structure, then you can add the add housing blocks to it, or you know what, you can take a hit to capacity but a bonus to well-being if you take one of those slots and put a multi-gym into it or something like that. You know, it's like kind of approach this thing a bit more interestingly, at least for me. What can I say? I like to customize. Anyway then, achievement, black goal, locate and begin extraction of oil. Yep, I am hurting for steel, but that's just a general theme at the moment. You are doing okay. You're not using any of your oil because there's no refinery yet, but that just snaps onto you. Oh, I can snap multiples onto here. Okay, whoops. Oil production 3 per day. 40 impact minus 16. Yeah, you see, this is treating like a modular building. Only there's only one thing I can actually put on it. Consumes oil. It's okay. Oh, we've got ourselves a sickly. It's a 70-day one though, so that's actually not so bad. Okay. Got ourselves 2 sea mines. I just sent these guys to both of them. Message from a war in a not too distant past. Leaving it here would be a hazard to our own submarines, but do we have capacity to disarm it? If we succeed, there's plenty of steel to salvage. Oh, yes, please, steel, yes. But do want to take the risk with one of our own crew. That becomes the question, doesn't it? The whole ethics bit of it. Do we class the clones as our own crew? Yes. Do we want steel? Yes. Salvage the mine. Plus 50 steel. Oh, that is so worth it. Esper navigated. The mine was safely disarmed and removed from the vicinity. Base remains secure. Gain a small amount of resources. 50 steel is very tasty. And then there is another one. Oh, there should be. Yes, there it is. Salvage it. Resources. So, yeah, the thing is, expertise to do it. That'd be a case of, like, if I didn't have the expertise available with the fully staffed crew members going there, then I wasn't going to get the expertise. Now, was I? But 120 steel, that gives me all I need to actually make some oil power plants. Also, I need to do something about how's our oxygen supply. We could use some more, to be honest. This space over here doesn't actually have a local oxygen producer, so I am going to install one. Let's just figure out where it is. No, that's the purifier. No? Yes, there it is. Yeah, so I'm actually going to install one over here, just so that we've got an easy access point to check air quality in this area, because we just didn't have that until now. That in itself will help offset things, but we're getting a bit of a knock in terms of air quality with like 80-odd% over the network. We've got one crew member at risk of being sick, which I think is just the sickly one, honestly. So that might be a reason not to be producing sickly clones, if we can help it. But advanced oxygen generator, of course, produces 15 air quality, which won't be enough to deal with our pending operation for oil, so we will want a purifier installed here too. And that'll do it. Okay, there it is. We have ourselves our first oil power plant. 3 crew members producing 75 power. Oh yes, and oil's demand is only -2, actually. While this thing by itself is producing 3 per day, and we can actually slot 2 more into this existing thing as well, so for a total of 9. That's not too shabby, is it, actually? The problem is it requires steel and stuff. Discover all points of interest types has apparently just popped up. Give me another couple of refineries. I put an advanced air purifier, which is giving me a plus 40, 10 to 30. I'm going to need another advanced purifier just to offset this. That's one drawback of this oil setup. It's spreading a lot of contaminations throughout the place. Also, we can't see it very clearly, but there's one turbine in the middle of that thing there, you see, just spinning. I'll try and put the next one close to the light, like I'll put it here, so we can get a better look at it. Are you on the power grid? You are actually off the power grid. Okay. And connect that. Okay, the last one we've got over there is the oil rig, which was sunk by some kind of explosion. Relatively recent oil extractor, seemingly abandoned in haste. Its design is unfamiliar, but not noticeably advanced. Extractor suggests a previous expedition and significant energy demands in this region. Shall we take a close look? Yes. 150 science points just popped up. It actually tells me we've given us 150 there. Breakthrough examine the oil rig has given our own engineers new understanding. We now reduce the research data cost for oil generators in the tech tree. Gee, thanks. It's not like I've already researched them. I'd rather add a breakthrough tech or something that did something to modify the cost of the things, honestly. But yeah, the cheaper. If I'd been exploring fully instead of actually focusing on developing my base as I go, then yeah, that would have been a useful one. As it is, I got 3 points and that was about it. So, well. Also, I think I'm going to have to invest in like proper facilities over here, like garden dome and things. Yeah, just because this area is actually turning into a full bore site now. Just looking at the tangled wreck of the thing there. Yeah, it looks very nice and industrial. Why can't we scoop that up and slam that into our clones? They'd look great with some steampunk armatures on them to go with all the crab legs and things. What can I say? Anyway, we do have a light source over here. We can actually start doing some extraction. The question is, what's the power grid looking like in this area? 23 out of 36. We can get a few more lights and things up, but If it wasn't for the steel costs, I'd be rushing to connect this place to my existing setup. But we need at least 3 more pylons to get out that way. Might be worth just developing oil extraction over here. I mean, we've got the facilities for it, the ground for it. Maybe? Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. Nope. Here's Billy. No idea where though just yet, but it's going to be doing something. Ah, one of the biostabilizers. Hi Billy, how you doing? You like to go for these guys, don't you? You like to interfere with my cloning operations. You like to interfere with the birth of your brothers and sisters. Ooh. Ah dear. Okay. Well, this is the other reason why I'm going for better power systems. It's to get the actual UV attachments up so that this isn't going to happen so much. Because the UV attachments, have to leave them on all the time. 2 power pop, sure, but I want to protect against that kind of thing happening. Also, I want to protect the power plants and things as well. That'd be a really good idea. Actually, the problem is... actually, no. That requires copper and aluminium. Actually, I've got those resources in plenty at the moment. Interesting. That means I can actually put the stuff in. Hooray! Oh, I also just saw over there, we've actually got our level 2 labs online as well. Look at these guys. Our scientists have something to do. And it's producing 45 science per day. Ooh, actually. Research booster modules. The question then is, can I actually put 2 of the same kind on here? No, it seems not. Well, I didn't think so, because it wouldn't let us do that with the cloning labs, but, you know, it was worth trying. Props if you saw me accidentally put down a coal plant over here. Yeah, now we've actually got some oil plants firing. And as you can see, big old turbines stuck in the middle of those. Could do with a bit more glowy accentuation, I think, but yeah, they look pretty nice actually. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Of course, got these high priority guys, but this is only using like 6 so far. Remember, we produced 9 from this guy. 9 per day, and we're only extracting apparently a rate of 3 from the zone, which can support up to 13. So it's kind of insane how much we can do with oil power from a single field. Though I guess it also makes sense because these fields are pretty late on in the game to get our hands on. How are we doing for air quality wise? We are just fine. Yeah, I scrapped out an old oxygen system and a couple of old air purifiers that I had knocking around, so that's seen a slight uptick in its general quality, so you know, keep it all going. Let's plug one in here, I guess, and one here. Yeah. Now that should require 10 though. The issue is I'm building actually on the field itself, which actually might not be the smartest idea. Let's cancel that and do as we should. And actually check to make sure we're not building on a decent oil spot first. Seems like the main zone is actually over this way. So yeah, those power plants will should be okay where they are. Or where they were before I scrapped them. Yep. This should be good. Malnourishment has reared its ugly head. It's been flickering in and out. I think it's because my ratio of crew is becoming very much higher grade clones, but my high quality food output was always kind of low compared to low quality. So as a result, it's like, you know, not gonna. It's been struggling a little bit. It's bouncing back and forth. So, my crew, you will be dining on goblin sharks. I am very sure they are not green with pointy ears, but you may want to verify that just in case. Sample with care. This food is approved by the Oceanic Base Quality Initiative and is rated 100% safe for cloned human consumption. Note, regular human crew, please avoid this, it is probably not safe. Could do that with 5-6 crew though. I'm almost at the point where I think I'm going to cut off scientist cloning. Or maybe I should just aim for 50, I don't know. But I do need to get some more food sources going to properly feed everything. Also, worth noting, I am almost over to attaching to this area. So yeah. The base is almost, once again, completely whole. We are one. In the light of the Emperor and the faith of humankind. No. Really? Really, we've been over this. No nibbling on the facilities. Really, dang it. Ah, well. I'll teach him one of these days, but my UV protection is extending a lot more. Yep, another marine stabilizer. Absolutely loves those things. So apparently I lost a scientist. Don't know if it was like a regular scientist or a clone. Sorry, not a regular. Wow. Now that solved Lifetime's problem, I'm actually starting to think of them as regular people. If only they didn't have those beady eyes and flappy mouths and those leftover gills. It's like, Never figured out how to remove the gills from the clones. They can all breathe in water, I think. They seem to be very reluctant to let me test that on them, though. Crew unemployed. I should stop cloning scientists now, I think. Well, I guess that'll do. Yep, I am once again in the genome sequencer. This time, I am preparing what I unlocked achievements for last time in error. I still think that shouldn't have fired the way it should. It just happened to get things cloning at the same time and triggered. I am actually genuinely getting Pioneer clones. Yeah, I'm mixing a bit of generalist Science X, Sample X is in there, of course. It's the most powerful sample. It's the sample. It means everything to everyone forever and ever. Amen. And a Stingray as well, because I've cancelled the as well. I'm integrating the samples from the lava biome. So, with the exception of mining outposts, technically I have like everything I'm wanting. I kind of feel like I should have gemless clones just because of the number of gemless shops I have in my coal power plants, and because they can go on low quality food rather than high quality foods. Because that'd be kind of nice. Leave you be. You are. Yeah, so I tore apart my sequences again. I seem to be doing that repeatedly at this point. But at least this time I'm actually going to confirm for sure that it doesn't have to be... The order doesn't really matter that much, because you can put in mutation things after the anti-mutation and it will still count for the stability. It's just like, it doesn't actually care about the order. It's just like overall potency of the mutations and things involved. Engineers I need badly, as usual. So I have given, let's jam in the biggest sequences I've got access to. These are -5s, are the best I've got in stability, really, to clean that up a little bit. Didn't really get any decent engineer samples out in the new area. But if I can get something decent, I'll be happy. Give me the sickly rather than the gluttonous, please. Thank you. 96. I want to use that, but I can't because I need that little last 4 days of lifespan. Hey! Actually, if I take you out... Gluttonous, I think, is actually proving to be quite a problematic thing, especially because these more specialised clones, because they're gluttonous for high-quality food. It's kind of bad. So... mix that in. I got a 16% chance of popping out a scientist. I do need some scientists, I think, ish, but not massively so. And I'll give you this one. There we go, 2%, 4%, 2%, 2%. That one I can cure, that one I can't do anything about, but if I maintain my air quality decently, that shouldn't be an issue. 4% gluttonous, better than 30% it was before, which is, you know, really out there. But I'll produce 86% engineers and 14% scientists. I will not begin cloning scientists again because I don't want them. Flat out, I just don't want them. I do have some... actually, no, I do have some room for these guys, but that's because scientists have also been popping into, I think, some of my... let's reboot my automation to get the furnaces back online properly. So yeah, I actually paused cloning briefly, and then it's like let things run down. There's a bunch of people at 0 days lifespan, so the actual proportion that are long-lived is increasing. But I still have a lot more in terms of scientists than I do anything else. Yeah, like I've got an entire screen with the scientists here. Won't be long until the unstable scientists are actually all gone. There's only like a couple of weeks left on them now at this point. Well, I've got 60 days on some of the engineers thanks to the previous pioneering process. I think I'll actually go and get the coelacanth now. Coelacanth, oh coelacanth, there you are. Alright, coelacanth, rare bait, Dumbo octopus, or the plus 20 longevity grey whales. Dumbo. Get you in there. The problem is now, it's a familiar problem. The problem is now that I've actually fed most of my gemless samples to other sample types, so I don't have that many of them. Hence why I'm getting the coelacanth in here. But even then... yeah, see, it's like I need to mix in some other stuff just to get this firing properly. But I want some more long-lived gemless if I can get them. 54 days. I've got mutations starting to creep in. If I mix in a grey whale, and there it goes. The higher gene types are suppressing the gemlists, and I don't really want to go and start producing like some more temporary clones, you know? So I'm going to have to accept that I'm going to be feeding people on my rarer types. And there's not much else I can do about it. Not unless I can free up my gemlist, but then that means I was tearing apart all of the all of the chains for the feeding and stuff. It'd be nice if there's like a table, like a homogenized area where you could actually control all this stuff. But you can't. Oh, actually, there is actually a rare bait here, which I will... Didn't I do that? Apparently I didn't. Never mind. 1 second, I'll factor this in. I'm missing a very rare scientist, which is not a big one, except for its long, massive lifespan. But a solid pioneer type is lurking out here. Okay, I've actually improved it. 100% pioneers. Indefinite lifespan. 0 mutation. With sample X, pelagic stingrays, dumb octopuses mixed into the genome as well, which brings some stability and also a lot of lifespan, especially sample X with a plus 20 coming in there. But a lot of lifespan just coming in from those guys. But that's making use of all my pioneer samples to make perfect pioneers. So yeah, that's literally perfect pioneers, because there's no mutation chance whatsoever with these clones. Yep, you'll do. Okay, let's see. Let's tear down the engineer genome once again. Whoops, that was the wrong one. You saw nothing. I know what I'm doing. I guess this one will have to do for the engineers. Again, perfection in terms of no mutation chance whatsoever. I had a choice between either having a 14% chance of a scientist or a 10% chance of a pioneer popping out of it. So since pioneer can do engineering jobs as well, I'd rather have the pioneer kicking in rather than the scientist, and they both require high quality food regardless. So yeah, that'll do. Sure. Right. By going back through though, I've also scavenged all the generalist samples I currently have unattached. Cloning Lab 2, I'm going to throw them in here, and I'm crossing my fingers I can get a decent long-lived clone out of this, but considering the samples were kept for low mutation more than anything else, and the high mutation ones have already been fed into things, I'm not hopeful that I'll be able to do this. Yeah, I'm going to be way short. +6s are not going to cut it. Halfway there. If I had filled Shark into it, suddenly I've almost 50% scientist creation, and that's without. I need to free up some. I need to free up some generalist samples, but I can't figure out where to get them from, and I'm not prepared to go digging around right now. All I know is my spare capacity is not operational, so I do need these cloning samples working. Ah well. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the thing. Let's do the thing. Because we've got everything set up now, more or less. It doesn't say that I need aqua cooling, but I installed them anyway. Does it care if I have this? If I do I need multiple, it gives me 6 slots for them. I have about 150 spare power. All light fixtures are upgraded with UV, by the by. So that is also a thing. But now, I am going to tear this trench open with mass extraction on either side. I feel like the ocean bed is not meant to be slightly lower on this side than it is on this side. But yeah, you can see from that clipping down through the rock a little bit. I feel that's not quite meant to be like that. But we're going to tear this crack open. When I got the light over here, I was trying to have a look down it, to be honest. It's just like, just have a look-see, it's like, figure it out. The game is hanging as well a bit, so it is due to have a reset at this point. But, yeah. That seems to be coming more and more easily as the sheer complexity of this mega base grows. I am curious to find out if actually going with individual bases versus our monolith would have been kinder to the game, but I don't know. I really don't know. Also, fun thing, by the way, the construction submarines have to go around this to get to the construction sites. So, yeah. That's a thing. And this, by the way, is, yeah, auto-saving. It's trying to figure itself out. Just going to high priority all of these, so they should pull crew as soon as they come online. Though that's no guarantee, because I do have my engineer shortage is kicking in again. Yeah, look at that hang time, trying to access it. I think the game's code is struggling a little bit. There you go, a new pioneer and a... Hang on. Cloning labs, what are you doing? Wasn't left much choice there. Okay, so yeah. You probably noticed when I missed it, but it's like, ooh, big guard growing bigger. Perfect clone. No, it was 4 days short on lifespan to get to the infinite. So close to greatness and yet so far. So we had. That's why I said, wait, what? When I saw that a clone with a 80-day lifespan, 96-day lifespan had popped up. So I've swapped out one of the engineering sequences for, sadly, one of our gemless ones, one of our better gemless ones that are currently available, because I needed a plus 16 to counteract the 0 from having this jellyfish coming in for the pioneer side of it. And I'd avoided using scientists just so I got purely engineers out of this otherwise. But because of that, I've also got a slight mutation chance, like slight chance of gluten, slight chance of sickly, but that's still very low risk in general, so not perfect anymore. But it'll work. It'll do the job. It'll give me people. What the heck? I just got an achievement apparently. The game's also frozen though, which is like, yeah. What are you trying to tell me, game? Sample Y. Oh, we got a new sample. Want to capture it? Okay. So, did I actually need to build all those, or did I not? I'm looking completely the wrong area. I want to be over here. Oh, apparently I forgot to connect you guys to the power grid as well. Sorry, guys. There you go. You got power. So I got sample Y, even though these things didn't have any power, apparently. So wait, are these guys actually not do anything? If I'd have got sample Y, that's another sample I can run in the ancient lab as soon as the game stops freezing. Again, I need to reset this thing. No bait required, producing a sample Y. Wait, so all of these producing sample Y? Do I have an entire battery of sample Ys? That's what I want to know. I feel like I might do, actually. Apart from the fact that apparently I've not got the oxygen supply to feed all this either. I do not. You're not doing anything, that's okay. Yeah, okay, so the base is crashing a little bit. That's not too bad. I've got multiple drills saying they can get tap sample Y. There's no clearing progress here. Let's see, how many entries do I have for sample Y? I have... Yeah, this gives me up to six samples of sample Y. Longevity plus 20. Kind of lowish potency, but plus 20? That's actually... Wow. Sample Y is actually very prolific compared to most of the samples I've got my grubby little hands on. Okay, cool. I will, however, take one of those immediately and throw it into here to get that research sorted out. So they're going to take their sweet time doing that, though. Oh, Billy doesn't sound too happy. The question is, what's Billy going to do? Because, remember, I've got UV lights everywhere, literally. At least I believe I have. To the point where the game seems to be... I need to reset. I really need to reset. UV lights are active literally everywhere. Actually, this is a good time to have a look around, see if there's any lights that aren't UV fitted, so I can see if I can find any of it. Because Billy did try to do something there. All these lights are good. Okay. All these lights are good. Okay, okay, looking good, looking good. Oh, yep, all lights have UV on them. As the world turns purple. And yeah, getting 6 samples of sample Y is actually quite interesting. It's the 20 years actually is on the high end in terms of longevity. The level of pioneer in the sequencing is not super high, so it's potentially something that could supplement other types fairly easily and fairly well, with the exception of like Gemless, because of course it'll completely override it, along with engineering stuff. Gemless would get suppressed massively, but Pioneer suppresses everything, honestly. Now the question is the sample I submitted for research what I actually kept, or do they count as separate instances of sample Y? I select that and it pauses. It is... Are you still ticking up? You are. Okay, good. But yeah, that was my first anomaly with nothing happening as far as I'm aware. Okay, that is sample Y completed. No visible traces of something happening in the lab. Still a big empty pod. Maybe you should find that suspicious. But yeah, sample Y has been captured and cultivated. The volcanic region is now being claimed by our sea base. It is part of our whole. We are spreading far and wide, just like Billy is, honestly. I believe Billy's kind of all over the place. I mean, it seems to be it's under the ground in here. Though exactly what's in here, we don't really know. But yeah, that's something we'll have to find out a bit later, because next time we have ourselves the exploration of the new region. Yes, we've contained the volcano. We've checked everything out here. The only thing left to do out here is actually the mining deposits, because I've tapped all habitats and things, so that's all sorted. So it's just like I've not really bothered to extract anything. If they had an iron ore patch down here, I would have been on that straight away to get to supplement my steel intake. But target zone anomalous, which is out here in the inky blackness. There's no glow, no nothing, so I can't really tell if anything's happening out here. But yeah, I'm going to call it there though, as we stare into the dark. Gaze into the abyss, and let's hope the abyss doesn't stare back too hard, but you know how this things tend to go, right? But yeah, this has been I'm Mark3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out me, helps out the channel, gives me those virtual happiness I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. I think the thumbnail should be of one of the extractor machines. I just have to try and get a good shot of it. But yeah, see you all later.